It's hard to come up with an original story. I mean, there's a lot of writers out there nodding their heads.
I think we're all influenced by the stories that came before us, going back thousands of years, by myths, legends, fairy tales. I think the worst films just refer to other movies.
Yeah.
The best films somehow connect you to something that you've actually experienced.
Yes. Well, Stranger Things has done that very well.
Yeah.
It touches on a lot of the movies that you and I and others have made, but it does it brilliantly.
Yeah.
It's an amalgam of genres, but all having to do with one thing, and that is you love those kids.
Yeah.
And you do not want anything bad to happen to them.
Right.
And Stranger Things, for all of its brilliant imaginings, are about those characters.
All I know is Will is alive. Will is alive. He's out there somewhere. All we have to do is find him.
We had a pretty steady, healthy diet of science fiction and horror movies growing up. They very much influenced Stranger Things.
A lot of our favorite stories in movies and books growing up all revolved around children dealing with a terror of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, like Spielberg has a history of putting children in traumatizing situations. So does Stephen King. They would take very relatable characters like families and kids, and who it felt like our family, it felt like our friends, it felt like us, and then put them into these extraordinary situations.
Stranger Things. It's about a kid who goes missing. He vanishes into, like, thin air. And I'm one of his best friends, and we go look for him. We go on crazy adventures, and they confront this girl. She has powers. Then we confront other things, like monsters. Not just monsters. One monster. The Demogorgon.
The Demogorgon has sort of this, like, ultimate movie or TV monster feel to it, almost like the prototypical nightmare monster.
We wanted to create a monster that we could build practically, and we wanted to go back to that old school style of filmmaking. And the thing is that once you commit to that, to building a suit, it limits you.
It was also very important that it was very weird, because to us, you know, the weirder a design is, the scarier it is.
And sometimes it's simple things like removing, taking the eyes off.
By the creature not having a face, it really evokes the same idea of something in the shadows, a figure that you can't quite make out, but you have a familiar shape, but without any eyes. You don't know where it's looking, what it's thinking, which is terrifying.
Demogorgon, he's really tall. I would say he's probably like 7'1", Shaq's height. He has this, his face looks like a tulip, a flower, and it opens up with all this teeth and slime. We can't wrap our brains around what this thing is, and we can't pinpoint what to do and what it is. That's why we're afraid of it, and it looks pretty creepy, and it's trying to kill you.
The Demogorgon head was the most remarkable part of the entire Demogorgon suit. Because I don't see the way I normally see, I don't hear the way I normally hear, it makes it easier to feel like the monster. The direction I was given by the Duffers was very concise. I was the shark from Jaws. That I was this creature that came from this other dimension to feed. I think monsters who threaten children are particularly terrifying because it triggers this response in humans to protect the young.
Children are the ultimate vulnerability. These kids are right on the brink of becoming young adults. So some of the unleashing of this other world, I think, is metaphorical, and it allows us to think about what does it mean to pass from a state of childhood into being a teen? Sometimes you tangle with monsters, and sometimes you're sucked into a pool. Maybe these things don't happen literally, but it's a really horrific, terrifying process to grow up.
Who are you? I'm Maria.
Stranger Things is, in and of itself, a kind of Frankenstein monster TV show. It is all these different parts of all these different elements of pop culture.
All right, here I go, okay?
Okay, here we go. All kind of sutured together to create this new, kind of beautiful, horrifying thing.
And the whole bike chase and the van flip is obviously a not so subtle nod to E.T.
Well, dressing up 11, we just couldn't help ourselves.
A lot of Winona's character was based on Richard Dreyfuss.
Her Christmas lights are his mashed potatoes, basically.
When you're a kid and you're experiencing these films, there's a sense of wonder and awe and fear that it stays with you for the rest of your life. What we wanted to do was try to recapture the way those movies made us feel.
Sci-fi is an escape for so many people. And I feel those monsters, not just the Demogorgon, helps everyone in the world move on and feel good about the world when the world isn't doing well.
Well, I think what inflamed my imagination when I was a kid was simply fear. Fear, I think, I needed to do something to protect myself against everything that I was afraid of. Most everything when it got dark, I was afraid of.
A lot of my process starts with dreams and nightmares. It's all getting out those childhood terrors and just making everybody else feel it.
Yeah, you kind of exorcise them from your own life, and then you foist them upon
everybody
strangers.
Else. Right, exactly.
And we love it, and we can't get enough of it, and so we can't stop.
Right.